Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, peoples. It's Sunday, September 30th, and welcome to another episode of Lighten Up Talk Radio, post-full moon energies. Good evening, Lee. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Michael. I am right at this moment. Let's just put it that way.
Y'all, this has been a wild week. A powerful week.
Yes, it has.
And I'm just going to kick it off by saying the energies for me this week have been, I've been feeling it a lot in my head this week, particularly not feeling as crystal clear in my thinking pattern and kind of feeling almost absent-minded on some level, but then on another level, very present with whatever I'm doing. Some of you may have some symptoms of forgetfulness or things like that going on, but I've definitely, it's been a lot of feeling just a slate, like a clear slate for me, where I'm not really thinking a lot about my desires, so to speak. They've kind of already been spoken and connected with, and I've just kind of been resting. You know, it's really been felt like a restful week for me. So I'll be interested, Lee, what has your week been like? You been feeling some of the similar stuff?
I have, and I've been having a lot of energy surges, particularly when I'm asleep. It's been very interesting that I woke up one morning and I could actually hear the vibration of the walls pounding. It was the most incredible energy I have ever experienced in my entire life. And I mentioned that to you this week about this. It was incredible. I was just laying in the bed and my head was just totally pounding, and I had just a total, like a violet light in it. And I couldn't even open my eyes. It was like I was in an astro-type state of not being able to move. But I could just lay there and I could just feel the vibration. It was like a drum that was just pounding in my head, and the walls were vibrating behind the bed. I have a very wide headboard, and so I've got some of my favorite things up there, some crystals and that type of thing. And I could actually hear the plant that I've got up there vibrating against the wall.
Wow.
It was the most incredible energy I've ever felt. This week has been very powerful as far as going into a lot of different places for me. And we've done a couple things together ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that reminded me, sometimes that's kind of the symptom that I've been feeling. Sometimes it takes me a minute to kind of catch back up with my week. Just, I hear you talking, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I had a lot of energy surges. And I remember us talking now earlier in the week when you had that experience. I was feeling literally pulsing of energy when I was asleep, and it was just like pulsing around me and moving through me. And I could imagine that if the mattress I was sleeping on was hard, it would possibly have felt something like to what you were talking about. But I could feel just the way that I was laying. It was kind of dampening it. It was fascinating.
It was just amazing. I've never felt anything like it, because I've felt a lot of energy, because I'm a pretty energetic person as far as the energy that runs through me, but never to the extent of what I felt this week. And my head was just totally just pounding. And I went through about 3 phases of that this week. Not with the walls vibrating. That was one day, but I can assure you that when that happened, I looked at the clock, and I thought I had just laid down for just a nap type thing, and I woke up 4 hours later. It was 4 hours. So the time, I guess that I think I woke up kind of maybe in the middle of what the treatment that was going on. because I felt like there was just total energy being poured into me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just amazing. My whole body was just like on a fiery type journey that was wonderful. I mean, it really was. I had never experienced anything like that. But when you can see in your head how things are working and actually going through your head, sometimes in red type waves, kind of a wave look, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's green. You got these different colors going through there. You're thinking to yourself, boy, this is 2012 energy here now. Because this is the time that it's really bumping itself up. Because I think I stated this last week, that we were at the level of about 7, and that by the end of about the middle of December, we're going to be hitting at about a 22 vibrational level. So that is a lot. That's a huge shift. And I think that's exactly what was going on. My thought pattern this week has been much faster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm receiving a lot of things much quicker than I have before, and it's just been an exciting week. A lot of resting type week, I guess, because I've never taken as many naps. I can't even remember when I've taken this many naps because I'm not a napper. But it just gets to the point they just want to go out. I mean, your body, I think it needs the rest from the actual level of energy that's running through it.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. I've seen things in my mind's eye and heard things like I haven't ever heard in my whole life. And it's just total, wonderful, great, prosperous-looking future for all of us.
Absolutely. People, please rest your body when it's asking for rest. There is just such a huge vibrational shift, and the chemistry of our bodies are totally changing to be able to handle it and to handle the more expansive abilities that are opening up for us. So please rest.
And I can even tell on the phone. I've been doing a lot more of the text message versus talking on the phone, because when I'm speaking on the phone, it's vibrating, and it's kind of a shock wave through me with that. And so a lot of that, so I haven't really been talking a long time on the telephone this week. Like a lot of times I am on and off quite often, and I'll just text the person back and just say I'll call you later, or and it's not that I'm trying to shuffle anybody off my schedule. It's just that I'm not in the place to where I can really sit there and the phone vibrating in my ear for that length of time. Or if I even put it on speakerphone, it starts vibrating. So it's still the same energy feel.
Yeah, it's just all about nurturing yourself.
It is.
And it's important for us all to nurture ourselves. It's very important to take that extra time to allow the changes to happen, and rest, and time for listening and meditation and all those things that we talk about a lot on this show. It's so important to take that time. And since Lee and I we sat here, I tell you what, Lee, there's going to be some channel coming through me, but I don't know what it is, and it is becoming really strong. How about you?
Well, Raphael was standing beside me before we even went on, and I was starting to feel the heat. And I was getting really hoarse when my voice starts deepening, and then I know that it's time. I really have asked, though, that it be held off, because I'd actually pulled a card earlier with Raphael card, and it was about prayer. So I've asked that maybe that holds off to more toward the end of the session, because there's a lot of things to talk about tonight.
That is so fascinating, because just when a few moments ago, when you must have did you put that intention out there, I got a wave of energy that moved over to this side of the table. Wow. That was so fascinating. And I kept hearing a name that I'm not really familiar with, Melchizedek.
I'm not familiar with that either. I
know that that energy is in one of the Ascended Master decks, because I've seen it before, but it's going to be real fascinating, but I'm not quite ready yet. I wanted to say one more thing about this week. I've had quite a few interactions with folks that are really holding on to their past. And it seems as though a lot of them are not real aware of it. So I like to break this down a little clearer, because every one of us has areas of our life where, we may have a little tendency to hold on to something. Lee put her glasses on backwards trying to read. So I'm going to break this down a little bit more. I'm going to give you an example. I know someone who's had a store for a really long time, and it's interesting. Sometimes when you have or own something for a really long time and you don't change anything, it becomes very stagnant, and the energies around it become very stagnant. And there can even become a tendency, without making any significant changes to the energy of the place or your thought patterns with it, for it to stop the flow of abundance coming into it, and to stop the flow of new people walking through it. And so that's one example. But I've had different people with different types of situations, but I wanted to use that kind of storehouse as an example. So what I'd like to put out there is, so how do you make a change to allow abundance to flow in? Well, first of all, I'd like to put it out there that we always have what we need. And it's really not to say where... I don't think it's a fair intention to put out to the universe to say, please bring abundance into this store right now so that I can get by in my life on a day-to-day basis. The universe is going to bring you your needs however they need to come in. They may come in through the avenue or the vehicle of a store, as meaning selling more product and you get some money that comes in that way, or they may not. And oftentimes, if you don't make, let's say you had the store for a really long time and you haven't really changed anything, and maybe not really even listening to what is being suggested from the higher spirit or through other people to make some changes in it, oftentimes you're going to find that the flow of abundance is just going to come to a screeching halt. And I've had a reoccurring asking from various folks, and I'm speaking of one in particular, who is just totally baffled at why the money's not coming in. And it's so important, one, to reevaluate within yourself. If you have any type of situation in your life, what is it that you truly desire? Getting to the core of why you may even have this thing. Reevaluate what the core principle is for having it, and getting right with it within yourself before you even go to the step further of asking for how to bring that in alignment with taking the store to the next level, clearing it out, doing the and following the steps to actually bring in more people or whatever it is so that it flows better. So my intention is to put out there for everyone to really take some time in their life, because we are getting down to the last couple of months of this year, and this is a massive year of closing the old out. And your life is going to flow so much better if you truly go within yourself and handle and get to the core alignment of anything in your life that is really from the past, that doesn't serve you anymore. Because it's not until those old things, those old closets, I know we've talked a lot about cleaning your closets out. Well, that's all this is. It's going in your mental storehouses and clearing out things in your life that are stagnant. So take some time, please, this coming week after you listen to the show, and really get into yourself and look where the stagnancies in your life are. Where have they really come to a stop? Because they're not going to open back up until you release and really get into yourself, to open up to your full potential at this time. Because from what I'm seeing and experiencing, there is not anyone that's immune to the changes that are going on right now.
No, there's not.
No one. And everyone has to go through some of this clearing process in their life. It's just the way it is. And so please take some time to sit with yourself. If you need help from someone else to do it, reach out. There's so many avenues for help. If you have any questions, we would love to be able to help you. You can email us and that sort of thing. It's just so important. And I know, Lee, you had an example this week of even doing a clearing that was very powerful of clearing some stuff that was in someone's life. And we also, you and I did a house clearing this week, which has all been kind of in the same alignment. This house is listed on the market that we did a clearing on, and it was filled with, there was a lady who had passed on in one of the bedrooms, and the energy was still stuck there. And nothing really heavy, but it was, you would walk in that house, and it was as if it was not receiving anything. There was no one could walk in, and it's been on the market for several months. Some people have been interested, but nothing's happened. And when I walked in, it immediately felt as if it was full, There was nothing that could really come in because it was so packed full. And then after we did the clearing, it just, oh my gosh, it felt like, oh, come in. I'm welcome you into the space. Cannot wait to receive a new loving family to take care of me. And it's no different from that than your life. When you find that part of you that is still filled up, not ready to receive the new, it's just going to keep it at bay.
Yeah, this house was built in the 1930s. So there had been quite a few people that had lived in this home. And as soon as we drove up the driveway, there was a gentleman up on the second floor that was looking out the window.
Yes.
And then our next point was that when we was going down the walkway to go through the door, there was a huge spider web that was over the door. So we had to, Michael.
That was real interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. And Michael.
Totally blocking the door.
Totally blocking it. That's the only place that we even saw a spider was there. And so he carefully removed it and put the spider back over on the bush where we're going to unlock the door and go in. But the downstairs also had some slaves.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that type of energy down there of kids and very dismal type energy that was cleared out. And when we actually left there, the house is a beautiful house, beautiful yard, great neighborhood. And I told Michael, I said, I'm really curious to see how long it takes to sell it now, because the price is really good on it, and it was a beautiful home. But as soon as you walked in, you could smell there was a remnants of a fire that had taken place right off the kitchen and the porch area, and we cleared all that. And just the lady that was laying in the room, when I went in the front room, I said, there's a lady that is here. And it was just amazing how many came into that room, because they were in total protection mode to keep everything under their control or protection. And so after they were sent to the light, which was a blessing within itself for them to go, it just cleared the energy out of the whole place. And I when I was coming over to the desk here for us to do the show tonight, there was a card that was pulled, and it says, "Let your past go." So I think this is
exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly what we're talking about. So this was actually, and Michael's laughing at me because I'm putting my glasses on backwards. But I don't need to wear them all the time. I just need them to read. And it says, the burden of carting your past around has made you weary. So, dear one, it's time to set your burdens down. Keep only the lessons and the love, and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it, and it's now gone. And that's the intention that we are putting out. We went into a home several weeks ago, and when you set your mind to say, and it was very heavy. When you make your you say, well, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to throw anything away. I'm not going to do this. Well, that's not really taking on today's energy of laying it down and going for it. So I think that a lot of times you have to just sit down and assess yourself.
Yeah.
And you need the time to be able to do that. And the longer that you let it lay there is the longer that your life is going to be in total chaos. And, you have to have the quiet mind to be able to achieve a lot of the blessings that you want out of this energy that is in here in 2012. The other clearing that I did this week was with a person as well as a home. And it's amazing how you can get such negative energy into a place of where you live. And it really affects you as far as your health and everything else. So I would just absolutely just go right along with what you said, Michael. I mean, it is time to let it go. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before in our homes to keep them nice and straight and keep everything in order. I also go with this again. Move your furniture. You need to move it. It needs to be, I don't care if it's just one chair out of one spot to another spot. That will help the room totally keep the energy very clear with it.
It's amazing, Lee, because you really put that intention out for me, because I'm real sensitive about the stagnancy in my room and stuff like that, and have been for years. And I never really thought at times, gosh, I'm pretty comfortable with my room the way it is. But then where it started with me was I used to have a ton of crystals in my room.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it would just be like so thick in there. And all I could do was I had to find every crystal and put them in a pile in the middle. I had to totally shift them all into different places. And it never really clicked for me until that started happening. And then we started talking about, moving furniture and stuff. And I've been doing that myself. It's amazing. Even if you're like, oh, but I like my room the way it is, please just try doing something. Because one little thing can shift the energy in a room, and it's amazing how easy it can be for our mental place to become stagnated, and our physical space is just a representation of our mental space.
That's exactly right.
And so,
cluttered home, cluttered mind.
Totally.
Cluttered office space, cluttered mind.
So whatever kind of life practice that you like to do, we've talked about this a lot. Mm-hmm. A wonderful one to add to your repertoire is a regular time of doing some sort of clutter clearing or changing of your home space, even if it's ever so minor, just something.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
I know I had a braid thought that came into my head about changing my room around. I've had a lot of new energies that have come into my bedroom area, and a lot of alien UFO, Pleiades, all this energy. I've had a lot of that has come into that room. And there was one corner in it, and you could actually go stand in that corner, and it would just make you just totally just turn around in circles with your feet flat on the floor. And there'd been a lot of people that had been in there, and they just sway back and forth and almost fall over. And when I saw that in that one area, and I knew that the other part of where I was a totally different energy, then I just knew that it had to be changed. And so I took 4 hours and just switched the room around and measured out the walls, measured out the furniture, did whatever, because I have quite a few doors off of my master bedroom. And so I had to really rearrange it right. But I actually did that. Now the flow of the energy, I think, is pretty much equal throughout the whole room. Mm-hmm. And it makes a huge amount of difference. It took me, to show the difference, it took me about 2 nights to really sleep well there.
Wow.
Because I was so used to just one energy sitting there, because it had been, that bed had not been moved in 2 years. Okay, the rest of it had been, but the bed had not, because that was the place really for the bed for fence way.
Yeah, right.
And so I had it for that. But it took me about 2 days to really get a good night's sleep there because of the energy switch. And that right there is a sheer sign of how important that it is to be able to do that. And don't leave your clothes on the floor. I can honestly say that.
Yeah.
That clothes will absolutely
It's amazing how that does.
It just totally just messes the whole room up.
You know, the energy that you, from your day, gets on your clothes.
That's right.
And so it is important to have a dirty clothes bin or something that you put them in, or wash them as much as you can.
Or just old clothes that's been sitting there for years that you have never worn. Or if you have worn, they're out of style and you need to get rid of them.
And that's a powerful thought there too, because we've done some clearings on homes and I find myself drawn into the closet, and Spirit takes me directly to articles of clothing that have emotional significance to things, and that it's time to let it go, because it's just it's amazing. You don't, oftentimes people think that happens like that, but it so does. The emotional things that happen in our life, the traumas, oftentimes the energy stays around articles in our homes and things like that. So it's important to keep it fresh.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't want to have a fresh life?
Well, that's the only type of life I'm going to have, a fresh life.
The other's kind of boring for me, but
my life is very fresh. It is very exciting, and that's the way that I like it. I mean, I can't imagine someone that does not want to stay in a place in their mind that's not totally happy, and be able to go out and do what fills their heart and their soul. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. This is around soul. This 2012 is around your soul, and it's around perfection of it, and it's not talking about old things hanging around.
Live your soul, people, not a role.
That was good, Mike.
I heard that somewhere. I don't know. I've heard somebody else say it.
That was good.
Oh, gosh.
The other card that I got is I'm totally getting off of his laughter. I mean, he's having too much fun tonight.
Oh, God.
Is all is well, and it's Archangel Jeremiah that says everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings that you will soon understand. And then stay focused. That all goes right along with what we're talking about. Stay focused. And all is well. I'm still listening to people that's in fear modes, and that is totally unnecessary to even go there. That's all I have to say about that. It's totally unnecessary. This is the most wonderful time that this year has probably been one of the most wonderful times I've ever spent in my whole life. The energy of this year has been fascinating. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is energizing, and I'm just looking so forward to what's coming down. It is just really a wonderful time of being able to manifest whatever that you really want for the rest of your life and put it in place.
And it is such a time to celebrate.
It is.
All of this wonder, and for all of you that are, have been awake, have been waking up out there and are doing your thing, are living your soul, congratulations. It's a wonderful thing. And the card that I picked, which this has really been on my plate, is about creative projects. What a more wonderful, there's not a more wonderful way to express your soul than to, have a creative project. To me, a creative project is a way to express your soul in some particular focused way that helps others, and it could help them just by the mere fact of you sharing it. It's a wonderful thing, and this card's beautiful because it shows these two angels that have their hands on this woman that's playing a harp, and you see this beautiful swirl of light coming down upon the woman that's playing the harp, and the angels are illuminating and supporting her on her mission of her creative project. And that's what the angels are there to help us with. That's and right. You will have all of the support that you need on whatever creative ventures that you choose to embark upon.
Well, it's just like this is the year to, whatever that you have that you want to manifest, this is the year. And I mean, last week I've been going down the trail of this, spiritual universal retreat. And, this has been a dream of mine for the past 5 years that I've put in motion, and it's just taking the steps of how to get there. And actually going out to the property again tomorrow and actually walk the property and feel the energy again. I'm just really trying to go out there as much as possible to manifest the blessings of the monies to be able to purchase the property and all the different things that's going to be on that property.
Oh,
and
yes.
I've actually taken just a very piece of paper and just briefly put down every single thing and every place and whatever that I think of now. Of course, it had changed to maybe greater and wonderful things. But you have to walk the steps of where you want to go. You have to think about what that is and have belief. It makes no difference what the price of it is, that you will have the belief that the abundance will come from God. Because when you put your faith into the God in the heavens, it always works out that way. So you have to pretty well take your human thoughts away about money, about anything. I don't even think about it anymore. Money's not even an issue to me. It's just really not. It hasn't been for quite a long time. Because I know that whatever is supposed to be for purpose, that when you actually do and walk down the path, carrying the light, that it will always happen. It will always be that way. And the doors will open up for all of us to be able to achieve what our life purpose is. And staying in touch with that is very important. And you just take the steps to do it. I cannot even tell you that much. One step at a time, but this is the year to start taking the step.
Hey, let's break this down a little bit more because I'm feeling inspired. I've had some conversations this week with folks that have had some a little bit of trouble stepping into this. So let's break it down a little bit more.
Give me some examples.
Well, first of all, I think it's really important for everyone to realize, first and foremost, they need to get real connected with what is their dream, what is in that soul that you are feeling called to do, and that's going to evolve over time. It just is. But right now, what is that? If it's doing some meditation, taking some time off to really hone in. A friend of ours taken 3 days to just go off and be by herself and really, hone in on that. Whatever it is, to me, that's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two is if you have a job or something that you really are not comfortable with anymore, it doesn't seem to be resonating with you, it's time to get clear about that as well. And if you feel that you need a certain amount of money to live, be realistic with it. Be realistic with maybe you could live a little lighter. Maybe you could trim some things out of your budget so that you could actually maybe have a job that's a little lighter, that can allow you to spend time on your dreams and work.
Right.
Or come into yourself and do the best you can to find the gifts in the job that you do have to switch the vibration around it to where you can be in that job from a light, feel light with it. Because from my experience, in order to follow your dreams, it is so much better to be in a light, simple place, as simple as you can be, so that you can stay in that inspired place. You're not constantly in that mode of trying to clear yourself and blah, 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 and all of that. Sometimes you just have to do that, because I did for a while. I've been blessed by listening and taking the steps of being blessed with a job that's very light for me and flexible that allows me to do both. And I do believe that that's a possibility for everybody if that's where you're at and you need to have some sort of financial job. But I really wanted to break it down like this, get real with the human footsteps of sometimes, yes, we have to have just a job that supports us, that helps us, meet the needs day to day. And yes, it is okay for us to have one that's light and enjoyable. It's our divine right to be able to have that, for our needs to be met in a way that not only supports the needs, but also is light.
Well, it's all around trust. There's your word. It's trust.
That's it.
And the next thing is that you need to write it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a book, and I've written just probably 3 to 4 books this year of just notebooks full of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go, and I go back to them and I'll read them. I just went through a couple of them this week because you forget. So when you really get in your head of really what your soul desire is, that you feel that is, write it down.
Write it down.
You write it down. Then I take that and I'm looking at it up there on the top. I've got me an actual dream board up there that I actually put pictures up, and I put my little notes up, and I change it out about once a month of what that is. But I keep everything in a written state, because I think that when you write it, that really shows the divine. That is what's on your mind, and you're putting it in this notebook, and it's very important to have this. Now, it might vary and change, but at that moment, you're still taking that step to get to the final place of where you're at. I think that it's a very organized type of thing to do when it's fresh on your mind, because sometimes you just forget it. Because the way the energy level's going right now, it's kind of like we was talking about earlier. I might be able to say something this very second, and 10 minutes later, not even remember what I even said. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think at that point in time, if it's that important to you, and if you know that it is, just keep a little. Michael makes fun of my little notebooks.
Jumbo mini book.
Yeah, the Jumbo mini book. But I just have them all over the house. And when I get a thought, then I just write it down, and then I'll go back and look at it maybe 6 months from now, but I've written it down, because otherwise I'd forgotten what was important to me at that time, which might resonate right now of where I'm at to where I need to go take that step to go forward.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And that's why I have all my little Jumbo mini books, and quit making fun of me.
I've got my notebooks. Yours are Jumbo Mini. They're like half the size, but they're called Jumbo.
Well, you were
for
using
some
one
reason.
of my Jumbos.
I was. So you all get your own little notebooks or whatever it is, your iPads, whatever kind of thing that can help you
That's right.
organize your thoughts sometimes into what's really important for you, so that you can then take steps. Once you understand what your dreams are, you can be open to the inspired first step, from taking a class to talking to somebody to doing this or that, whatever it is. The first step towards bringing your dreams into reality, because that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
We bring the thoughts into reality, and the key word to me is, with manifestation, besides the trust in the process, is being. When you are what you put out there, then it's in our life.
That's true.
When you become what you desire, become worthy of it, and the feeling becomes totally who you are. When you become knowing that it's coming to you, when you become seeing it in your life, and you just see it, that it's there in non-physical before the physical arrives, when that is a part of who you are, there's no room but for it to come into your life.
That's right. It's total trust in divine order that whatever that is supposed to be will. And it's trust in that.
Absolutely.
It's trust in yourself and trust in divine order that it'll be here. But you have to take the steps to get there. That is always that street you have to walk.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
sometimes that could change in your own mind, and that might be what it needs to be, but you got to take the steps. You wouldn't even know if you didn't do that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How boring would it be if, in my mind, if divine just, poured money bags into an old store that has been around for a long time and hasn't really had a freshening to keep that would also allow us stay in our old ways and stop the creative process. that just doesn't make any sense anyway. How boring would that be? When divine is actually encouraging us to lighten up, let go, clean, clear, get back into creative fun mode, which is why we're here anyway. There's no reason to even be on the earth if we're not here to mold, our thoughts into some physical form. Why even be here? And it's just wonderful.
This is not the time or the place to be in a depression, to be drug oriented, to be in I don't know what I'm going to do next because I don't have any funds to be able to do this and that and the other. I mean, there is so much doom and gloom out there that you hear. It's just absolutely, I could just pull my hair out at times. I guess that's why I wear it short, so it's not too much to grab. Because I don't get it when you can't look at a positive side instead of the negative side. And when you start feeling yourself getting on that side, switch your mind. I don't care what it is. If it's one word you can put out there, but you need to switch it. Because we're in a great time. We're in great times.
We are.
We are. We're in one of the best times that I can ever remember in my whole life. And very exciting. Everything's going our way. And to just stay in the same old mode and trying to keep it doom and gloom all the time is just not what it is. That is your illusion. That is not God's illusion. His illusion is it is great as it always is. And we can go forward as we always do. So, if you're not going that trail, then you need to seriously sit down and have a conversation with yourself on this one.
Absolutely.
Because we are in wonderful, wonderful times. I can't think of anything that has been any more exciting to me than coming into 2012. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and it has been that and more of what I thought that it would be.
And if any of you out there, because I know there's so many of you that are just so stepping into it right now, and it's such a beautiful thing. And if there's anyone out there that's just not feeling that this year is a wonderful thing, that's just an indication that it's really time for you to really go inside yourself, ask your angels and guides for help, or find someone that can help you go in there, help you open those doors, because sometimes we need a little help to open those doors, feel safe. Ask. There's lots of help available.
There's a lot of books out there that you can read.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of tools out there. And I might say that we've had some incredible moons this year, nights and moons and all of that. If you're that stuck in depression, all you need to do, I could walk outside right now and go in the front yard, and I could look at a full moon that is absolutely magnificent. That's really as simple as that. Mm-hmm. There's always something that you can see that's beautiful. God put us in a place that's beautiful, and we're in an energy that's beautiful. And I can't imagine not being able to find some type of glory into where we're at now.
Absolutely, Lee.
So it's all in switching your own mind. That is a very important thing. If you need to have some life coaching done, no difficulty with that. I mean, Michael and myself do that all the time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other people that do that as well. And but whatever you have to do, there's the steps again. You take the step to do it. And
Absolutely.
Take your time. And the main thing is taking your own time to stop all your busy stuff and start taking on the important stuff. That's a huge step right there.
Absolutely. Well, Lee, it's been an interesting show tonight.
It has been. It has been that.
We felt so... I definitely could have gone into the channel mode earlier as far as bringing one of the angels that are right around me in, but we may be doing an after show.
Well, that would be good too. We might just continue on because Arch Angel Raphael has been standing here very patiently here behind me. And I have just gone into the lead mode tonight instead of really allowing some of that.
It always is what it's supposed to be.
It is what it's supposed to be. But I will read the card here that says Prayer Works. And it says, Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for hearing and answering my prayers of. And it stops there because it says for you to put your own details of what that is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So just add on to that phrase.
And Lee, I was just reminded that before we close out this part of the show, that it's time to do bringing and sending people to the light. We have a huge line of people, beings who have not crossed over to the light, that are here with us at the show. We put that intention out, several shows back.
Yes.
And I've been getting them every day.
Yes.
Coming to me. And even what's been fascinating, and I'm putting this out there because it was new for me this year, that I've had beings from other planets and solar systems coming in to go to the light.
Right.
And I get chill bumps because just putting that intention out all over the universe just draws it in. When
I came in the studio here about 11 o'clock this morning, there was already waiting. I could just feel it all around the room. And that was the intention, that we're just waiting for you to do this tonight. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, I'd like to call in all of the beautiful angels who support this process of guiding all of these beautiful light beings back home to the light, where all of the fears, the heaviness, and the worries from any lifetime, of which are totally blessed in this space. This is a space of total unconditional love, of honoring and blessing all lives, no matter how easy or difficult they were. We bless them all. We honor them all. We also ask for any deceased family members from any of these souls that are with us tonight to be present and greet them at the gateway, so they may feel the love and the cherish of their life's journey. And we send this intention not only out to those that are with us in this room, but again, this intention goes out all over the airwaves, the internet, the Mother Earth, all through the universe, the different solar systems, planets around the universe. Anyone that's ready to step in and look up, now is the time. You are totally supported. You are totally loved. And I'm also feeling guided to put this intention out for anyone that is on their bed of transition right now in their life. We ask the angels and the deceased loved ones to be with all of these souls that are about ready to depart, as many will be departing in this month of October. It's a typical time of huge transition for folks. We send these loving blessings out to every home, hospital, every place that helps people transition. We call the angels and the guides to be with all of these beautiful beings right now. And on the count of 3, we're going to usher and send all of these beautiful beings right now that are with us. 1, 2, and 3. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you all for listening with us. And your energy and your intention is powerful and assists this whole process to happen. Thank you. We thank all the angels, the ascended masters, and the deceased loved ones who have helped this process and who have been with us today with this show. I'd like to send blessings out to each one of you to remember how totally and completely loved you are, and that you are never, ever, for 1 second even, alone. That you are totally surrounded by divine in all kinds of forms that is loving you, supporting you, giving you thoughts and nudges of your next steps in your life, giving you thoughts, nudges, and encouragement on whatever it's time to let go of in your life. And Archangel Michael steps in for this moment and would like to help each one of you cut any cords to your past. Let's take a nice deep breath together as we all let go together. We have this unbelievable divine loving support to release the cords and the strings of the past that don't serve us anymore. I'm going to count to 3, and we're all going to take a nice deep breath together as Archangel Michael goes in, cuts any cords, lifts any burdens from our bodies, minds, and hearts. And I see Archangel Raphael coming in behind, but I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a nice deep breath. And Archangel Michael wants to continue bringing his beautiful vacuum of light coming down into the top of your head, moving all the way through your energy system, through your chakras, through your emotional body and energy bodies, siphoning out any stagnant energies, any residues that may have been sitting with you and you've just not dealt with it, but it's just sitting there. Archangel Michael, please vacuum all of these old energies away right now. Thank you so much for your unconditional love and support as we release and close the old doors in our lives and open the new ones. Take one more nice deep breath as Archangel Raphael is coming in after Michael. And so it is.
And so it is.
And Archangel Raphael is going to work with all of you this evening, helping to heal the hearts, the minds, the bodies, so that in the coming days, in the coming weeks, you will be free to walk through these wonderful doors that will be opening. Blessings to you all and lots of love.
Blessings.